So anyway, about that BioShock Infinite comparison you were about to make.
Oh yeah, there's a fucking radical like politico in the game who actually once you talk to her character on a neutral ground and try. I'm pretty sure you can talk to her and try and convince her to kind of be chill. But she also just makes a decision for herself and fucks everything. It's like her character was genuinely good. She had good motivation. Her character was well defined, even though she was someone who was basically trying to be anarchy, radicalization, blah blah blah, blah all that stuff. She had a pretty good character, and then that side of it just kind of ruins her character, and I see that in Nyx. Whereas I think she would be fun. Her powers are cool as shit, and she's a bit of a wild soul, but someone that could be a fun character, and they ruin it by making her the evil karma character, and you never really get to see much of her because we're not doing evil karma in this playthrough.
Yeah, which honestly, it really makes itself a problem later on in the game because I wanted to do one of the decisions that involved Nyx in the game, but unfortunately that would put me onto the evil karma side of things, and that just why? Why do you have to make the game like this? I just want to... Can't I just have a bit of chaos in this? Like, it's a bit of a problem with the karma system in Infamous in general. Like, also a lot of other games, but I'm just going to use Infamous as the scapegoat for, like, the reason I say that it's a problem. And an easy solution is just to replace it with something like the order and chaos system from Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
Where instead of just, this is a good thing, this is a bad thing, it's just like, this is more orderly and this is pure chaotic.
Yeah. You want my honest opinion? Which, you know, in the end of the day is still just the D&D system of your alignments, but still. My opinion, I think Infamous 1 and 2, like, if you want my personal opinion, I think evil karma in Infamous 1 is the better way to go about the game, because just thinking about the story of 1, it's kind of cool that it's like you become Kessler and, you know, blah 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 blah. We already have seen it, so it's not like I'm spoiling something. But the idea of Kessler being evil and you becoming Kessler is like, that's cool to me. So I think going evil in 1 is the better route. Whereas I think about how this story plays out, the obvious choice is Hero. Like, there's no way that being evil karma in this game makes any sense.
In terms of his characterization for Cole, yeah, it doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, in 1 it could go either way, and like, there's obviously, but like, there is precedent for the evil route in 1, whereas in 2, I think the evil route was implemented just for the sake of keeping up with that trend. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, what am I trying to word it as? The Infamous Second Son doesn't have the karma system, does it?
No, Second Son still has the karma system. It's Festival of Blood that removes it, but that one is also a side story where Cole is a vampire. But then the interesting case is...
What the fuck?
Right, it was made because Halloween.
That clip. Yeah, no, I get that. But isolate that clip in reality, and it's like, yeah, that side story where Cole's a vampire, and yet this is still a series where he is a zappy shoot man, and yet it still sounds more absurd than anything you've said so far. And he was a vampire once.
It's amazing what just saying things out of context can lead to.
Yeah, that one time Cole was a vampire, and yet you still managed to make me feel absurd in a series where he is a zappy shoot man, and she is a burn lady.
Where his blood might as well be electricity.
Yep, and yet that's still more absurd to me. Anyway, continue with your train of thought.
What I was going to say was that it's like the really interesting game in the Infamous series regarding the karma system is First Light. Like, yeah, it has an obvious excuse of this is simply elaborating on one of the characters' backstories, but at the same time, the removal of the karma system frees up so many things to actually do within the game itself. You aren't locking anything behind being good or evil. You aren't locking anything behind. It's just like, oh, you gotta have done these decisions, get with these characters, yada yada yada, to do certain things or see the whole story. It's just, no, you play the game, you have fun, and you just experiment with your powers as you would normally. It's just a lot more fun when you get rid of it that way. Or at least get rid of it the way it was done before.
Yeah, and it's always a hindrance to the ability system. No matter how much they improve it, it's still hampered by the fact that your abilities are based on your alignments. You know, I personally think the way to have done it was to make a variant of each and every karma move for both sides. Like, I think if you wanted to have the tornado, you can have it in both and have the good tornado be a little more contained and like subdued, not subdued as much, but like also a little more controlled, and it's like you have more control over it. Whereas I think the evil tornado could have been erratic and it does whatever it wants and it moves wherever it wants. You know?
Yeah, I understand that completely. I think that Infamous 2, in terms of post-game, handles the abilities pretty well, but at the same time, that's also post-game.
I'll see you again.
Yeah, whereas you're not really touching, and especially in these games, you're not really touching you're not touching the game anymore at a certain point. You're kind of done. Unless you're going for 100% completion. And yet, it's still not that difficult, so there's really not a reason to almost be done with home. There's not much of a reason other than time to not be almost 100% by the time you're almost done with the game.
Yeah, because, like, I'm just gonna jump the gun way ahead here, is that one of the abilities that you get later, like, a few of the abilities that you get later on are related, well, if you go evil, are related to Nyx's actual moveset. And what I really wish I could do without going over to the evil alignment is use those abilities, because they are honestly, the one that I'm thinking of in particular that I'm not gonna say out loud, it's just so much fun to use that I wish I could use it whenever I wanted, because it's just so much fun to traverse with.
Yeah.
But no, I can't.
Yeah,
because
which
evil.
sucks. Yeah. Which sucks because I think that it also implies that, like, their powers are related to their emotions, but also I think your idea is going completely against not your idea to change it, but the fact that you don't get those moves goes against the idea of what Infamous's karma system is, and that it doesn't take his powers away if you're evil or good. It just fucking changes his powers, and that's why I think there should have been a variant for every move that is more specific, like especially the specific karma moves. There should have been a variant for both good and bad, because it's like it's not like you lose the power by being good or bad. It's just, you know, it changes depending on what you are.
Yeah, it's like a different version of the same ability. Which, I mean, Second Son does do in a little bit more, like it does do it a little bit more like that, but at the same time it is still an innate problem with the series in general.
Yeah. Which sucks, because it's like, I think the idea of, like, and especially like My Hero Academia makes a good example of it in its character Shinso, where it's like his power is it's basically mind control, and that's cool. But he's training to become a hero, where it's like someone has very villainous powers, but they're a hero, or someone has very heroic powers and they're a douchebag. You know. Sorry,
Yeah,
there is who has villainous powers and the douchebag Delson. Sorry.
Yeah.
He just looks like a douchebag. I'm just kidding. I actually don't know.
He
anything
really
about him.
is when you go the evil route, which is honestly, I think it's like it logically makes the most sense for the character, but it's annoying to play more than anything else. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Man, you see that? There's a weird sort of glow on that guy.
Anyway, now we actually have the tornado unlocked in Infamous 2.
It's Rayfield energy.
Ionic
That
vortex.
guy must have been around when they were testing the sphere or something.
But yes, basically it's the tornado. It's the Missouri power. Dude, those tornado warnings that went off on our phone because of their like a false test or whatever, or some stupid test, and
Whatever that guy
but
is.
everyone was like
Hell yes.
going outside to see the tornado. I was like, only in Missouri would someone not actually take shelter when a tornado warning goes off. They would go out. We only in Missouri would we go out to check if the actual tornado is fucking coming or not.
Yeah, that sounds like Florida and hurricanes. It's like, oh,
Is there a hurricane? Alright, I'm gonna go get my surfboard. BRB.
we have a whole season for hurricanes.
Well, yeah, and it's like once you accept that imminent, terrifying reality, I'm sure it is kind of entertaining to just be like, ah, it's a hurricane, because you have to go through it every year.
Yeah. Which is actually a little bit funny, because this year it's like, we actually let, like, me and my family, like, put up Christmas lights and all that every year as well, just to celebrate that season. And we left them up there, and it's like, we should probably take those down soon. Why? Because it's out of season? No, because it might actually be a danger to the house.
Why? Wait, what?
Because, essentially because of the way that the lights themselves are attached to the roof, it could take off some of the shingles.
I tell you guys.
Oh, in like the event of a hurricane?
Yeah.
Man, it's taking
To be fair, I think that's like the least thing to worry about when, you know, a hurricane's taking your entire house out, but okay.
Even then, it's just like, that's kind of the priority list
But my
of
shingles,
Floridians
though.
and hurricanes.
Yeah, but my shingles, though. I don't want the shingles to be broken. You know, it's like, but sir, the entire house is total, but the shingles are still there.
Hey, the roof is fine, just need to lift it up a little bit and fix the wall.
Yeah, just need to lift it up a little bit and, you know, put a house under it.
Oh, come on, Zeke. I mean, if we do this thing with any sort of precision, we're gonna need a much bigger team.
Militia's been parading around cages full of cops. These guys used to fight against them.
You figure we break them out? Give them guns?
Wait. Free cops? No. If we do that,
So,
So Nix was anti-cops before anti-cops was fucking cool.
Hell, that could
Respect.
pay off in the long run.
screw that, man.
even that is just, I'm just gonna go ahead and explain this factually. You can either blow the place up and kill everyone in it, including potentially the person you want to save, or you could free a small army and raid the place without many casualties, if any.
One option is infinitely cooler than the other. It doesn't really matter what alignment it is.
I mean, yeah, one is cooler, but the other just makes more logical sense.
No, I
at the
think
end of the day,
cool
this is a
one is
rescue
the
mission.
one that makes. No, the cool one is the rescue mission where you get a fucking militia. Why wouldn't you want a militia?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
The blowing up is not really that cool because it's like, well, what are you really accomplishing by blowing it up? You're just being a dick.
It'll be worth it. The cops in those cages are just a fraction of who they got back at the plantation. Plus those boys
Back
you'd have
at
a
the
hard time
plantation,
holding
he
back.
says.
We'll see.
Oof.
Let's kill another helicopter. This thing has too much health.
Yep, there's the ding. Ding. No, it's when you blow them up. I forgot.
There it is.
Already. Ding.
Dude.
You fucking... I sped it. Yeah, 2. Dude, I genuinely want to count how many of these do by the end of the game, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a decent number. Even 6 would be a high number, right?
I think it will probably reach into the double digits at some point.
Likely.
And let me just summon a tornado real quick. And apparently in the middle of draining the electric pole to recover health, I become more good. That makes sense. Yeah. Get back to the objective. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, there's the fast forward. Look at the running animation fast forwarded. Honestly, some of this is just a lot more comedic when you fast forward it, and I love it for that.
Some of it kind of is. It's like a little bit of I imagine the Benny Hill fucking theme in my head. Where... Also, who does this? Who fucking like? Yep, look at us in our military militia, just driving in the streets, all hanging out in a fucking train car on a truck.
Us with our guns on trucks. Our guns with trucks.
The
Our
South
trucks
in a
with
nutshell.
guns.
Stop, Legon. I get it. You're in the deep South.
Oh, I guess since we're looking at it, we can actually just go ahead and see, like, yeah, the Sly Cane looks pretty cool in these things.
The Sly Cane is cool in this game, especially because I love how, and I said it the first time, and this is like the third time I've fucking said it now, but I'm okay with it. Because it is cool. I love the, what am I thinking in my head? The fact that the electricity current goes through the tip of the cane and then the base of the cane. That's really cool.
Like, yeah, it goes through the hook area of it.
Yeah. Wow, way to just simplify what I said. Fuck you. Just teasing. I feel like I shouldn't have to clarify. There's a blast shard on the first one.
That's not a blast shard, that's the tornado
Oh.
thing.
You're right, that is, yeah, and it looks almost the same. That's dangerous.
Are you gonna get an addiction?
I'm seeing it in my fucking head, man. Every time I go to sleep, I see blast shards. Can't help it. I just need them in my mouth.
Oh no.
I mean, what? Don't take that out of context. Please don't clip that and use it for future endeavors with us.
Also, I don't know why, but I imagine the Sly Cooper cane breaking more easily than the amp would for opening that kind of cage. Just because the handle is made of wood
Man,
instead
have you
of
played
metal.
have you played Sly Cooper? That thing goes through some fucking hell. Like, that cane gets flung across literally like a shit ton of miles.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. It's
Not
made
a
of cartoon.
Not a nick on it. Not a nick on it. Not
It's
a
made
ding
of
on it either.
cartoon.
Not a
That makes more sense. It's made of cartoon.
cartooninium. It's like aluminium, but a lot more fucking goofy and has googly eyes on it.
Let's go!
Yeah. And also another thing to point out is that Cole still has the Sly Cooper on his backpack.
Yeah, the
So
Sly
it does
Cooper head.
make sense.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm just imagining, like, Cole
I'm pretty sure
temporarily...
that's a series regular, right?
Say again?
I'm pretty sure that's a series regular, right? Like, even Delsum has it on his theme, right?
He doesn't have it as a decal, but he has the Sly Cooper theme as his ringtone.
Yeah, so they all... What? That's fucking awesome. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. That's fucking cool. I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah. So, Sucker Punch is in tune with its,
They know how to reference their old material.
yeah, in the right way. Almost, that's why they're, like, them and Naughty Dog are in, like, that's something that them and Naughty Dog share that I really like.
Yeah. And you know, just because,
Yeah.
like, both in the first game and in this one as well, Cole has the Sly Cooper, like, logo on his backpack, I'm just imagining that he put the amp away somewhere, like, he just entrusted it to Zeke again, and then he just, like, grabbed a cane that was an exact replica of the Sly Cooper cane
Yeah.
and just started using
No,
that
dude,
instead.
like, Cole's secretly that guy's gonna buy a fucking replica of the Master Sword, hang it in his roof, or in his ceiling, or on his wall. Sorry.
Just hang it from the ceiling. Like, yeah, you got a sword hanging from the ceiling. Totally cool.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, but he's Cole's totally that guy that's gonna like buy the Master Sword and hang it on his wall. I'm totally that guy, by the way. I don't have one yet though, but I would be that guy.
The mortars blew Cole up, so... Yeah, let's just fast forward.
Alternate universe.
We gotta blow up the blow-uppers.
What?
Explode
That-
the explodies.
Stop. You're about 5 seconds away from Daddy's cummies there, like on.
Hey, I didn't say it, you did.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm glad you have that clip to yourself now. I'm really happy.
Blow up the last one. There we go. Now it's all destroyed. Let's go ahead and save the person we originally came here to save in the first place.
We go.
Yeah, let's.
As the door blows up again.
She's dead now.
The outside was freezing. It only got colder.
Yeah, why do you think it's so cold?
Wonder why it's colder. Couldn't tell you.
Could be the dead body.
It was easy to spot.
Yep, because she's dead.
Totally.
Frantic blood or
Yeah.
dry filled her
This
with
actually was kind of
God
fucked,
knows
because it's
what.
like,
Yeah, this is honestly a really
Getting
messed up part
restraints
of the
off,
game.
That was easy.
In
Yeah.
terms of story.
20,000 volts couldn't handle.
yeah.
But
Well, the fact that they were
walking
just
away,
doing this is like,
I don't know. I got the feeling maybe I'd overdone it a little.
A little, yeah.
huh, a little.
Also, I don't
Oh,
know
great.
why, but
Little
the
Twizzler.
face on that before the helmet completely enclosed kind of reminded me of Kessler, like that.
Yeah, we made this joke in the original recording where it was like,
You were hooked up to what the hell was it?
fucking baby Kesslers. Also, Quo just objectively looks better. Don't at me. I'll fight you.
Get out of here.
Because I think Quo's design in this like after this happened, she just instantly looks cooler and is cooler, and yeah, no. This is the part of the game that made like Quo like a fucking character for me. Like, cause she was kind of alright, but we've had enough of the agent lady character in a lot of games.
Yeah, like I think the best way that I explained it, and this is gonna happen a lot because I didn't realize. Oh, you gotta stay in proximity, and she walks slow as molasses.
Yeah.
But
fucked
what I
up.
was gonna say is that, like, I think the original playthrough of this that
Nice.
we tried doing, I said it best there. Quo exists until this mission.
Quo exists, and then now it's there's Quo's a part of the fucking cast.
Yeah, now she's part of the story.
Yeah. But it's not unfair to say Quo exists because the story also kind of just introduces her like that. Like they just kind of go, Quo's here, and I think that was like that's why I was like, I think they really did do a good job with Infamous 2. With Infamous 2 compared to 1, because like they actually even turned a character that is supposed to just be random person into cool as shit character, and I like her now, and I want to see where they go with her.
Yeah. And it is actually pretty interesting when you go through the entire, like when you get to the ending with her and just see like the arc she goes through.
Yeah. To compare, Infamous 1 is just that first season of the anime where you don't really set up, and then this is like season like, okay, you done dying? COVID? Okay. Like on quote or disclaimer, look, like does that have the does that have the mysterious disease that we cannot talk about? Anyway, moving on.
On an Ascension Parish.
Yeah, no. And then Infamous 2 is like every season after the first two arcs, where everything is falling into place, and then everything is done well. And it all comes together to make a really good project.
Electrical superpowers.
Yeah. With a lot of fast forwarding at this point because it was a lot of wandering.
Yeah.
And also this
Crazy.
mission in particular just kind of
I found
sucks.
All right.
Because it
Somehow
goes,
Militia managed
it
to
harkens
isolate
back
the
to
trace
Infamous
from the
1,
stuff over in
where
Ascension
it's
Parish.
essentially just
Yeah,
kill
those
X amount of
are the
enemy,
next
like
one.
kill enemies until the time limit completes itself,
Yeah.
and that's not very fun. At the very least, we
No.
get this little interesting new gimmick here, the Tesla missile. And fortunately, you do not control it with 6-axis controls. Ugh.
Yeah. Like on stealing my talking point from
All right,
last time we
I
recorded
got
this,
the
you
next
son of a
transformer
bitch.
going.
Good.
I do agree.
Pronto.
Thank God it wasn't
Take a
controlled by
while for the
6-axis.
voltage to build.
This totally was the
I'll
era
sure
where they
try
would
to
do
shut
that
thing down before
stupid
the relays
bullshit.
reset the condenser.
Really? Relays reset the
Which is another reason why I don't really like
Hey,
Sly
man.
4, because a lot of
You can call
Bentley
this
shit
crap.
in Sly 4
I took
is
shop classes.
6-axis.
So, Who's the dummy now?
Oh, I hate being off the grid.
Which, if you think about it, kind of ruins the the portability of the game unless you want to just take it out of the port and just give you, more proper controls, which a lot of companies
Stick to the
won't.
rooftops.
Yeah, I mean, even then, you could probably easily port it to, like, PS4 or PS5 software.
Hey, Cole,
Right.
Or hardware with PS4 and PS5 motion controls, because it's a lot more precise than 6-axis, but from what I'm aware of, it should basically function with the same essential skeleton.
Right.
So at the very
And I
least,
agree.
upgrading in terms of generation shouldn't be too much of an issue. And also, I failed these multiple times because multiple enemies are a lot to keep track of that. Words.
Yeah. These ones are always annoying because you can't ever stand just on the point and defend it like in most games. I mean, there's a certain ones in one where I did get away with just doing that, but it was kind of rare. But also, like, you can't just stand on the point and do it and defend it without getting wrecked and killed. And then but even if you move away from it too much, then they'll just gang up on the thing. Actually, you know what surprising series has kind of a similar issue, I'm pretty sure?
It's weird.
Or at least what game?
Your skins is cold.
Is
Dead man's
Jack.
gonna
I'm pretty
live
sure
now.
Jack
I
2
wasn't
has
watching
the
her
same
breathe.
problem,
I'd swear
which
she
is
was
weird
dead.
that Naughty Dog
Sounds
and Sucker
familiar.
Punch both fell into the
Should
same
be.
trapping with
Reminds me of
that
taking
kind of
care
mission.
you after blasting Empire. But me and Trish were worried sick for nothing.
Trish, don't mention Trish.
Also, the audio for that voice clip actually just bugged out, and it didn't play that last line of dialogue for whatever reason.
Yeah, about how Cole killed Trish. Yeah, we know.
Well, I mean, technically yes, but it was Kessler.
Yeah. Well, no, it was still Cole.
Yeah, but Kessler is Cole, so technically it was different, but
Yeah.
at the same time it was also the same thing, and I hate time travel.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, that's also why I hate Trish, because, like, she literally contributes nothing to the universe by the end of her, life.
It's sad that the most she contributes is dying.
Yeah. It's like, it's not helping people, it's not anything, it's not even her relationship with Cole, it's, I'm dead, bye.
I'm dead, therefore motivation. Goodbye.
Yeah, motivation for a main
Fine.
character. That is all I am.
Yeah. Also,
Thanks,
look at that
Legon.
moon.
Really appreciate your opinion. Yeah, no, the moon looks good. The sky looks really good in this, surprisingly, and I pointed that out the first time as well. But the skyline looks incredible, even to this day. And I know this is a game that came out,
So
like,
Zeke,
probably actually 10
you
years
really
ago at
think
this
Cole
point.
might have powers?
Yeah, I think it actually did come out
She might
like
be like I was after
9,
the
10
blast.
years ago at this
I
point.
don't know, man.
Which
Ugh.
is...
It-
It's so
10
weird
years
to
ago.
think about.
Trish like
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
10 years ago,
I
being
know
the
it's a sore
Xbox
subject.
360
It's fine.
PS3 generation is fucking absurd to me.
Mistakes.
Yeah, because it's like you think of old games and your mind first jumps to like NES, SNES, N64 kind of era. But no, old games is technically PS2,
Yeah.
which is so
It's crazy
weird.
because, like, I feel like kids now should be in that phase where the PS4 got comfortable enough. I think they should be, wanting the PS4, but now we're in an era where, PS5 is now, and it's like,
Yeah, we're in an era where this is old,
oh.
and it's so
Oh.
weird.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Well, it also shows more because on those old SNES games, obviously it's pixelated, so it's never gonna really age. It's people graphics off this side. Like entire generation just sucks. Good point. So
Yeah.
I understand what you mean.
Those militia goose steppers just kidnapped some girl.
Goose
from slums.
steppers.
I mean, broad daylight and everything.
What a
You should
racial
sign a
slur
petition.
that doesn't make any
You look like a
fucking
stud.
sense, but is a racial
Bunch
slur
of
clearly.
converts in your fan club.
Yeah, like what kind of word? I'm not even gonna understand what Zeke is trying to say there.
Good decision.
But yeah, that's essentially it for this part, and the next time we meet back up in Infamous 2, it is going to be live commentary. It's not going to be post-commentary like this again. Even though it barely made a difference, in all honesty. So, yeah, we'll see you guys.
I actually had a
for the
pretty good
next
time
one.
with it.
I mean, yeah,
But
it
still,
was
yeah, we'll
fun
see you guys for the
to
next part.
do it like this. It's a change of pace, but
Yeah.
it's better saved for other games.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next time on Infamous 2, back with live play. Yep.
Yeah. Later.
Yeah. Later.